Hi guys, Marvin and Kidder coming to you again. I apologize for the lateness. Um, like I said, I really apologize for the lateness, guys. But as you all know, for this review, you probably seen on my Facebook. I said I was going to do reviews, giant size review for the week of August 14th and August 7th, the books that came out there. I apologize for the lateness. I was doing some training that was taking up a lot of my time, so I really couldn't get to read a lot of stuff. And when I mean training, I was actually training with some of my senseis and things like that. Some meditation trainings and some rigorous hand-to-hand combat trainings. Yeah, it's still fun though, as always. But you guys are here for what did I think of, some of the books that came out the previous week. So basically, I should be back on schedule, back on top notch right now. So let's get into the books, and I might not review all of them, like get real in depth like I usually do. I might go skim through a lot of them, so bear with me. I still won't review a lot of them. Like I won't reveal, even though most of these books have been out for 2 weeks or so. But once again, sit back and enjoy, and let's get to it. So first off, we're going to start all Marvel, all the books that came out from Marvel from the 4th to the 7th and 14th that I picked up. So let's start off with All New X-Men. Sorry about the glare. All New X-Men, number 15. Bendis still doing a fantastic job on the book. Jean Grey and the Beast. That does happen. Very interesting stuff. Really no real hardcore action, just good dialogue. Jean is still trying to, completing her telepathic and telekinetic training with Beast. Bobby and Scott are kind of, let's go out. Let's go out, chill and stuff like that. And it is thunderstorming. I hope I didn't upset Thor. Dang. I hear thunder, sorry. But it was still fun, nonetheless. And of course, we got the reveal of what the cover solidifies. And it didn't come from young Beast. It came from older Beast. Jean had accidentally stuck a peek inside his head. But she's saying that sometimes emotions, people's thoughts are so loud they just scream out at her. The funniest thing in this book was seeing Rachel meet a younger version of her mother. That was hilarious. I thought that was so funny. But still, good stuff. Bendis, keep up the good work, sir. And still loving the title. All right. Avengers number 17. This is the prelude to Infinity, and Hickman, Spencer, Castillo do share artwork on this, and basically this is still the team knows, the Avengers know what's coming. Darkness is coming. They know who they're up against, so they need to assemble some more help, and that's pretty much what this all is: assembling more team members to the Avengers, including 2 members that were in the beginning of this volume of Avengers. And basically what it is basically saying, take the fight to, take the fight. Be ready. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing real special, but still good. Hickman knows what he's doing. Alright. And let's move on to Superior Spider-Man number 15. This is Dan Slott, Humberto Ramos's artwork. You see on the cover it's Phil Urich, Hobby, and Doc Ock. After the fallout of Shadowland, pretty much Ock is looking for some of Kingpin's, subordinates. And of course it brings him hobby. And Phil is down on his luck. He's got some money. He needs to be giving out some money. There's a certain individual that he has to keep paying money to, so he's trying to get more, paychecks from Robbie and everything like that, and that's costing him. And he's on the run. He's on the lam, and there's a spider chasing him. So he's the hunted. He's not the prey. He's the hunted, and we kind of see him kind of go back to his old ways in a sense of, he has to rob, armored cars just to kind of pay off his debts. And he's really frustrated. He's like, Robbie, come on, I need another check. It's crazy. It was interesting, but it just shows you the downward spiral for Phil Urich, basically. Alright, let's move on to X Factor number 260, Peter David. This is part 4 of the end of X Factor. You got 2 of the Magneto siblings on the cover, Lorna Dane and her brother Quicksilver Pietro. This is focused on Polaris, and as we all know, all the members have been scattered everywhere. We don't know where they are after the events with Mephisto and all that. So it seems like Lorna is back in New York, and she's sitting down pretty much just taking shots back, and she's like, another. And even the bartender's like, I think you've had enough. And she's like, I'll tell you when I had enough. She gets so drunk and wasted that she starts to abuse her powers, really. She's throwing pool tables out of the windows, and cops come in, surround the place, and everything like that. And unfortunately, a certain individual right here gets involved, her brother, and it just gets wild and crazy there. There was even a part in here where I just went like, that's so stupid. Like, how they she was like, I was a part of X Factor, and the bartender said, are you an Avenger? Because she's dressed in her gear, and she's like, no, I'm not an Avenger. And she's like, I'm part of X Factor. And he's like, you mean that game show and she just said, we gotta get a new name. That was kind of made me laugh. But I really hated to see the siblings fight. Quicksilver didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight, but he knew that he had to because his sister was intoxicated and she was really drunk. She was going crazy. She's just tossing cops around and everything like that. The ending left you kind of with an opening like, okay, what's that? But other than that, X Factor 260 was still good. I remember watching my mentor's giant size vid, and he talked about if somebody else, that if they reboot this, restart it again, he doesn't know if he's sure he'll read it. I'm not sure myself either because once again, like I said, it's Peter David's baby. But I know that Marvel does have some projects for Peter David in the future. I'm just wondering what it is. Alright, so let's move on to I think these are the Marvel books that I got for the 14th, because I think those are the only books. Yeah. So let's start off with Fearless Defenders number 8, Bunn and Sniley. Yeah, look at Val. She's donning a new look. Pretty cool. It's okay. I like her new look. You got more of the fur boots now, and she's got 3 pigtails instead of 2. Some different ornaments on her arms and stuff like that. But the story in this is basically kind of still giving off what happened in the last issue. We find out, as you all know, Val and Annabelle share the body now. They share one body. So Annabelle can turn into Valkyrie, and they vice versa. And in this, they're helping. Seems like another member of the team and it's got a lot to do with recreation clones of Brood. It was crazy to see that. The hunter, I forgot her name, she calls them sleazoids. It was really funny, really, like, and Misty, and I'm just really like, she's like, she still can't get used to the fact that Annabelle and Val are together and things like that after, what Clea did, So, but other than that, it was fine. With Caroline LaFay was good. For all those who don't know, she is the love child of Dr. Doom and Morgan Le Fay, so she is Dr. Doom's daughter, and it still seems like she's still building her version of the Doom Maidens, but it was still good nonetheless, and looking forward to the next issue. And there was some more. I don't want to spoil it, even though this has been out already for a week enough, but I believe a week, could be wrong, but yeah. This is really good stuff. Still fun. Good read. Keep it up. Alright. Ta-da! Yeah. There it is. Hickman, Jim Chung, Infinity, Part 1 of 6. Yes. Part 1 of 6. It's a 6-part event. Thank you. And you know why? You know why it's probably because of that man right there, Hickman. He doesn't overlap. He doesn't need to go all detail, go crazy with 12 parts, 10 parts. There's no need for that. Now, having said that, this was $5. Now, was it worth it? You be decided. I can't decide that personally. But I know right away, I can tell you right now, the rest of the parts are not. They're lower. That's good. But basically, in this is just good setup, baby, for Jonathan Hickman. He sets this up so beautifully in this story. It was thick. It's very thick. It didn't take me quite long. I heard that it took Chloe pretty long to read, and it took me a while. I'm not saying it didn't take me very long, but it took pretty few minutes to read, but it is thick and it's very dialogue heavy, but it sets up really well. And Thanos looked great. Chung's artwork in here is just beautifully done. It's beautiful. Some of the best parts in here is probably with Black Bolt, where Thanos sends out one of his agents, this like hunter like character that's like really, he can really be stealth, and he's trying to find some secrets in Black Bolt's head, and he's finding all these secrets, the Illuminati, everything like that, until Black Bolt realizing, and you see Black Bolt in his conscience like, get out of my head. And Black Bolt, literally my favorite part, he just rips this guy's arm right off and it runs away. But it's so funny because what Black Bolt does is like, okay, you want to run? Lockjaw, come here. Takes his arm, the guy's arm that he had, has Lockjaw sniff it to get his scent and chases him around. And it was just badass seeing Black Bolt just get down nitty gritty. It was so funny because once again he just whispered stop and blew this guy. I was like, that's Black Bolt for you. But the basis also is the Avengers know who they're up against. They know who they're up against, and they know they got to take the fight to him instead of letting the fight come to them. So it basically reminds me of that quote from Mass Effect 2 with Jacob. Take the fight to the collectors. Looking forward to the action. That's basically what it reminded me of, where Cap said, take the fight to him. So it's basically like saying, take the fight to Thanos. Looking forward to the action. So they gear up and head out to take the fight to Thanos. Thanos, his secret, he wants Earth for something. It's his secret, and he just smiles about it. So basically, yes, the Earth is Avengerless. There are no Avengers on Earth. Earth in a sense, and that's pretty much where the Mighty Avengers will come in as well. But this was just really good. It was good, very enjoyable, good setup. I can see why this was sold out. It's going into second printing already, guys. Yeah, looking forward to this. This is something I'm looking forward to the most because why? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am getting burnt out on these hero versus hero stuff events, especially from Marvel. They love to, it's almost like they get off on putting their heroes against, like, oh yes, let's put Psylocke and Daredevil. Oh yeah, they get off on that. It's like, where's the old-fashioned hero versus villain? And that's what we're getting in this. A straight, clear-cut villain. Ain't no on no straight line with Thanos. He ain't called the Mad Titan for nothing. But it was good. Alright. Scarlet Spider number 20. This is part 2 of the sibling rivalry. Now, it seems like Marvel has broke continuity because there was a scene in a previous Scarlet Spider where Kane took one look at what was going on with Spider-Man and he already knew that's not Peter. So it seems like they just like, okay, let's shut that down. Now, I know the first part started off in Spider-Man Superior Team Up or whatever. I don't read that. I read it in store. I got the gist of what was going on. Didn't read all of it. What I saw was, and once I saw who was in it, I was like, and I put it back. But because I read Scarlet Spider, the solicitation gives you what's going on. Basically, it's, yeah, these two meet. Some things Kane has realized that he thinks his former brother, in a sense, has changed. It really has. But they're dealing with Miles fucking Warren the Jackal. Good God. I cannot stand this the Jackal. My God. You know what you're getting with the Jackal, and it's like, you know what you're getting. You're getting fucking clones, and it's like, God damn it, And in this issue, he clones a certain somebody from Peter's past. I'm not gonna spoil who that is, but all in all, the artwork in this is beautiful. Who does the artwork again? I forgot who does the artwork, but it was beautiful. K Studios, Nkuyu Lee. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Beautifully well done. I thought it was just beautiful. But even there's some things in this, guys, that Kane is just, he can't believe. What I will say about this was seeing a certain Spidey villain that I haven't seen in a long freaking time. I'm gonna spoil this for you. The Carrion. My God, how long has it been we've seen the Carrion? And he was in this book. Good stuff. That threw me back. I was like, oh, the Carrion. But other than that, same old bullshit with Miles Warren. He is so fucking obsessed with Spider-Man. It just makes me want to vomit sometimes. There was one line that he did cut that made me laugh where he said, I'm not a Bond villain. I laughed at that. He's talking about James Bond. But other than that, Kane is just like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, there's some things Ock does in this. Like, Kane is just looking at him like, what the hell? There's even one at the end of the book. Kane says to Ock, I know I'm not a hero. You're the hero, so act like it. And I was like, well played, Kane. Well played, because we all know this is not fucking Peter Parker. But there's some more serious stuff revealed at the end, which I'm not going to spoil, between Kane when he gets back to Houston. But other than that, good for what it was. Could have done without Kane. Well, could have done without Jackal. But I figured that's what they're probably going to do. It was good to see the Carrion, and the artwork was beautiful. Thor, God of Thunder, number 11. This is God Bomb, a conclusion. Look at that cover. That is just beautiful. He has 2 Mjolnirs in his hand, actually. His and future King Thor's Mjolnir. Aaron's continues just write this title so beautifully, and Ribbick's artwork, fantastic. This is the conclusion of Gorg and his giant god bomb, a bomb that's supposed to eliminate all the pantheons of gods, and does it in the last issue we saw. It blew up, and it's going around throughout the cosmos from time and space, killing gods, and it's up to the Thors to stop Gorg. Just really hardcore hitting drama, action, just really great stuff that Aaron's just delivers. Unbelievable stuff. There was a part in this where Thor, present Thor, absorbs the negative energy of the God Bomb into him and uses it. And Thor looked fierce when he did it too. It's good stuff. As for Gorg, how can I say this without spoiling too much? Even though this book has been out, things don't go pretty for Gorg. Not at all. There's some portrayals in this from his side that kind of made sense. Once again, not going to spoil, but in the end, all is well. And all 3 Thors go back to their present time, even though they know they're not going to remember this. But it was just really good stuff. We saw a younger Thor looking like he's about trying to pick up Mjolnir, and it's actually moving this time for him. Things like that. This was just one of the best titles under the Marvel. I can't even say Marvel now. It just says Marvel now. You know what's going on now. It's just been really good stuff. Mr. Aarons, just keep up the good work, sir. I'm loving what you're doing with the Thor, and I can't wait to the future because I hear Malakesh the Accuser's coming back. Cannot wait. All right, so we move on to Wolverine the X-Men number 34. This is Hellfire Saga part 4 or 5. Cover is cool. This is just really action-packed, guys. Very action-packed. When I read this, I was reading it along and I was like, I wonder how other people are, when I finally was able to finish reading my books, when I got to this, I was like, I wonder how other people are enjoying this. Nick Bradshaw does the artwork, and you know, I tolerate Nick Bradshaw's artwork. As I've always said, I don't like the pudgy face look that he gives everybody, but it's tolerable. I don't hate his artwork like someone else, like another artist, but we see the X-Men finally find the school and they just start wrecking havoc all over. The biggest orgasmic geekasm that I had in this book, yes, geekasm, was what Iceman, my man Bobby Drake, was doing with his powers. It freaking amazed me. Marvel took the idea of Iceman constructing his own giant mecha from a classic 80s character that I love, still love to this day, and I loved it. And I loved the dialogue between him and Kitty. It was just so funny. Kilgore here is losing it. He's fucking losing it. And he's you know, I've always said this, Kilgore, you know, I wasn't too keen on the fact that the Hellfire Club were a bunch of kids now, but and then I started tolerating it. But yeah, Kilgore, the engine's running, but nobody is home, has been behind that wheel for a couple of months now. He's freaking out, and the rest of the guys are seeing that, and we're just seeing that. Kid Omega was really good in this. Even Toad, who's fighting Husk, you know, Paige Guthrie, Cannonball's sister, you know, he's trying to tell her, like, Paige, stop this. You know, she's kind of going a little cuckoo too, and they've said it's because of her powers. Something is wonky with her powers now, and it may be affecting her. But this was just really good. It was just action-packed, guys, all the way through. It ends on a cliffhanger, like, are they really going to, or is Aaron's just playing with us? But yeah, one more part, and the Hellfire Club saga will end. Yeah. All right, so that's all the Marvel books from May 7th and May 14th. That's all I got. All right, so we move on to DC, and we'll start. I ran out of boards and bags again. Damn it! But here we go. Batwing, number 23. Speaking of Batwing, guys, first of all, at the mercy of Lady Vic. This really happens in the book. But yes, speaking of Batwing, I wanted to get my good friend, my bro, Gabi, onto Batwing. I always told him, you know, this is a good title, you should try it. And, you know, I was like, I'm going to put this on your Midtown pull list. I'm going to put it on it. And he said, great, so what issue am I going to start with? And I told him, you're going to start from the beginning. So you're going to read up. So what I told him I'm going to do is I'm going to send you all 23 of my issues. You read them, and you send them back to me when you're done. So when I finish recording this, I'm going to package this up with the rest of the 23 issues and send them on their way for Ed. But in this issue alone, Batwing and Batman are still dealing with the Marupta, this assassin group that conform, you know, that are conforming to like this giant ant-like creature. They're assassins, and they're after Lucius Fox. Batwing thinks they followed him back. They found his identity, but it's not. As you all know, Luke Fox, Lucius Fox's son, is the new Batman. And I shouldn't have spoiled that, but yeah, okay. But anyway, after saving, you know, Luke Fox, we're seeing a little bit more downward spiral between Luke and his family. Now they're really upset with him. Like, where were you? You know, everything like that. Everybody is really upset. His love life's not going well. She's like, I'm seeing someone else, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay. And then, you know, she's actually agreeing with Luke about what his father's saying about Luke, is like, you need to grow up. And he's like, don't judge me, and things like that. You know, and I can understand where Luke's coming from with that too. And of course, then he meets the assassin, Lady Vic. And this stuff happens. Even with his tech suit, Luke just is really outclassed by Lady Vic. And I'm not just talking about, she beats him. And it ends on a hanger like, you know what? Let me show you how it ends. Yep. But once again, Jimmy Palomino and Justin Gray still are doing a bang-up job with this title. All right. And we move on to Earth 2. Like I said, guys, I ran out of boards and bags. I boarded everything, and then I missed Batwing, and then it's like, oh damn it, I gotta get more boards and bags. But you guys know me. Usually I just hold them out before I board and bag them, but whatever. Okay, James Robinson, Nicole Scott, issue 15. Not looking so good for the team. They just really get trounced by these these individuals in the book. We also get to see, you know, Big Barda and Mr. Miracle once again. They're looking for the new Earth 2 Batman, and they're being hunted down by Wonder Woman's daughter. and pretty much that's the basis of it. You know, not looking so good for Jay and all of them, and we get a big surprise at the end. Looks like the Earth 2's version of another certain robotic character. You guys should know already what I'm talking about, but it was good nonetheless. Alright. Green Arrow, number 23. Once again, like I said, Jeff Lemire, you've turned this series around for the better. If that former creative team was still on, I would have clearly dropped this title a long time ago. I love Ollie. I love Green Arrow. I'm very loyal, but you know, my loyalty can only be held up so long. And in this issue, Ollie and Shadow are still in the country where Count Vertigo's from. And we get to see a little bit of Vertigo's powers, like where it's connected and everything. It's basically it's his brains. We also get a background story into Shadow a little bit more in terms of the fact that she and Ollie's father were lovers at one point, had a child. We get all deep into the story of them, his father, and what's really going on. It seems that Komodo is not only knew Ollie's dad was a friend of his. He's the one that killed them. Why? Because they're looking for this artifact. Him and the outsiders are looking for this artifact known as, get this, the Green Arrow. It's supposed to be like this Holy Grail like artifact. And Shadow here knows where it is. So she's valuable. But she was locked up by Count Vertigo for a long time just to keep, you know, and we just really get in depth into it. But it's good, very good. The ending back in Seattle, which is really interesting, is that the families of Seattle, the mob families, are being snubbed out by a new individual who's rising over to take over their spot. And believe it or not, I'll show it to you in a little bit. But this character has been in the DCU. He's a classic character, and so you know, it's kind of interesting. But also, one of the members of Team Arrow, as I call them, Naomi, seems to is falling head over heels for Ollie, and she tells, I'm forgetting the other guy's name, who likes her, so it's all like, oh. But let me show you that character that I'm talking about back in Seattle, who's taken over a lot of properties from the mob. And you're not going to believe this, but Richard freaking Dragon is back, guys. Looks a lot different. Calls himself the Dragon, Richard Dragon, and I've come to take Seattle. Now, you know, the story will continue in Count Vertigo 1. Now, speaking of, you know, that the whole villains month, I'm going to let you know, guys, right now, you probably won't see a lot of DC from me. I can tell you that right now, because there'll probably be some books I'll look at and probably read in store, and there'll probably be some that I do read. But, you know, it'll be maybe it'll be a short week, September, for DC books for me. Probably will. I'm letting you know that right now. Not really a lot I think I'll be picking up. That's just me. But this was really good. As always, Jeff Lemire, good stuff. Green Lantern number 23, Without a Ring, Without a Chance. Robert Venditti and Billy Tan, just superb. This kind of does happen. the rogue Star Sapphire that broke out of prison. Well, she wasn't a Star Sapphire until she got a ring. Hal's after. He's taken it upon himself to really much be the one to go after these dangerous threats. And when he does meet up her, she just plays so many head games with Hal, using her ability of the Star Sapphire. And Hal can't take it. She's beating him mentally, not physically. And that, my friends, was just really good until the point where, you know, she starts playing with his head like, you love somebody, and shows him Carol, and she is just really playing with her head, with Hal's head. And of course the rings go wonky again, they go offline again, and we're starting to, and that's the question, is like, why are all the rings going off? And it's not just the Green Lantern ring, it's everybody's rings. And it's just really interesting indeed. But I did like this. Very good. The Movement, number 4, Miss Gail Simone. I'm not wearing a hat, so I'll bow to you. Gail Simone, just fantastic as always. Mouse, the one-man plague. This was really good because we really got an in-depth story. We got origins while the main storyline was going on about some of the characters in the group. Like Mouse, you wouldn't believe it. You know, he looks like, oh, he's just he's a street thug, you know, street rat. You know, somebody grew up in the streets. But believe it or not, he comes from a privileged childhood that just liked being around rats and stuff, and you know, it just was crazy. There were just so many origins that got it really quick to the point, really fast, and jumped back into the main story. And it's still, you know, the movement trying to take over and expose Coral City's crooked police department and things like that. And I loved it. There were a lot of individuals on this team that you're like, wow, that was interesting. And even one of them that has a past with Amanda Waller. So that was interesting as well. We also get to see that Rainmaker has joined the group. She will help, and it's good stuff, very much. The Movement, number 4. Not too late to jump on, people. Yes, I'm a Gail Simone fanboy. Look at my face. And do I care if I get teased? Alright, so those are all the books for the 4th of the, for August 7th, I believe. Yeah, August 7th for basically for DC. Now we move on to the DC books that I got for August 14th. And the first one we'll start off with is Batgirl, another Gail Simone, 23, and she ain't pulling no punches in this bad boy. Good stuff. Fernando Passarin's artwork was beautiful in this. Yes, Barbara is not wearing the costume. Just good dialogue. Barbara finds out that the boy that she's been going out with, there's a past, and she's trying to help him with that. Commissioner Gordon is trying to get help from some unlikely source, you know, because of Batgirl being connected with them. It was just fantastic, unbelievable stuff that just left me like, what is going to happen? This was only part 1, but I enjoyed the hell out of this. The stuff that went down with Nightfall, the stuff that went down with Barbara and her roommate in the beginning of the book was just really fun. And the ending just was like, oh my god. But other than that, Miss Simone, keep up the good work. You rock. Green Lantern Corps. number 23. He can't save them all. Jeff Benson, Rob Venditti actually does the co-plotting here, and you got Bernard Chang doing the artwork. It's basically, once again, John, along with the new recruits, some of the new recruits, we get to see some of them in action here. They've been held captive by their enemy, and their enemy wants to kill them. Their powers are wonky. Once again, their powers are going on. And that's just it. You know, that's the main gist of this, is trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Why are the powers shutting down? Who's responsible for this? And we kind of get that in this when we see Salak and Kilowog, they're at the Central Battery. And all of a sudden, a certain individual who represents willpower comes right out the Central Battery, and it seems like it's in a lot of pain. And that's when also we see some of the other creatures that represent the emotion spectrum come to take this individual with them. You know, Ion, it's basically Ion, and tell him it's time. And I'm just like, what the hell? But it was still good, nonetheless. Right? Man, these green, I don't know what that is. It kind of sucks to be a Green Lantern when your powers go off, you know, go off and on. But other than that, it was fine. I enjoyed it. All right. Nightwing, number 23. His fate in the prankster's hands. First of all, this does not happen. Dick is still in Chicago, still in Chi-Town. He's looking still on the road to catching not just the prankster, but also Tony Zuko. Tony Zuko is in Chicago, leading a new life. He's got a family now, and he put his past behind him, and he's even changed his name. But things happen for a reason. After seeing that the mayor has Zuko in his pockets, and everything starts to come out. And but the prankster is still on the verge of trying to kill the mayor. And it gets so dire to the point, the ending really leaves you on a damn cliffhanger. And when I read it, I was like, damn it. You know, damn it. You know, where basically all of Zuko's past sins have been broadcast on the news. And it's now to the point, the verge of the point of everybody's pointing the finger at the mayor of Chicago. Like, you knew this? His wife, Tony Zuko's wife. Well, he doesn't go under the name Tony Zuko, but he's saying, you killed the Grayson family and everything like that. How are you telling our son to grow up to be a good man and everything like that, do good, tell the truth, but you're living a lie? And that was really subtle and right to the point where I gotta agree on that. But very good stuff from Dick. You know, he's just still on the road of trying to get to the prankster. And there was some good action, some good explosions. And I'm starting to sound like fucking Michael Bay. Let me change that. It was good. It was good. It was good. Alright. Now we're on to all the independent stuff that I got for the past 2 weeks. Alright, so let's kick it off with Dark Horse, and we're kicking it with X number 4. This is the conclusion of the fourth conclusion, the final fight between Berkshire, or Pigman as they seem to be calling him. Dwayne Straczynski pulls no punches in this either. It's a battle between X and Berkshire here, who his face was so badly wounded they needed to graft swine skin on him, and by doing that now he can't feel pain now in his face. So you got this battle going on, and X is slamming his face, punching him with right hooks, uppercuts, you know, just looks like, you know, punches that would literally break somebody's jaw, smashing his head on concrete. and all of a sudden you just see Berkshire getting up like, didn't feel a thing. And it's like, what the fuck? And poor Leigh, she's just all in the dire situation of this. This is really bad for her. But also the big key moment of this is the lock that's around X's neck that keeps his mask on comes off, and his identity is revealed. However, it's revealed, but still we can't see his face. His face is still in like a silhouette. Every time it looks like it's going to be shown in the light, it doesn't. And there's a reason why he keeps that mask on, and he even tells Berkshire too at the end why he keeps the mask on. And oh my God, what X does to his face, to Berkshire's face, is unbelievable. If you read this, you know what I'm talking about. Holy fuck. And once again, you want to talk about holy fuck. Dynamite Comics, the Batwing, Brian Buccello. Just, I went for the Asafa cover. This was a nice cover. Look at that cover. Beautiful, beautiful. Tony is in a lot of trouble. He's got the cops to deal with. He's got the SWAT team in the front, who's got infrared beamed all on him. He's got one cop in behind him, and he's thinking about his past, and we get to see once again his past. Now, I've always known the Black Bat's past, but for the 21st century, they showcase again, and it is so bad and so gruesome. You will be, I swear to you, if you've read this, you're like, you know, you're just going up from the sheer pain that you see when happens when Tony Quinn, Black Bat, loses his eyes. Holy crap. It's not looking good for Black Bat at all. And like I've been seeing this in Dynamite books too, and I was just like, you know what, let me give it a try as well. And I know the character because she has guest starred before in a couple of Zorro books that I remember reading, and that's Lady Rawhide. That's a nice cover. Get a good look, guys. Takes place in the Old West, in Mexico. Zorro is kind of mentioned in this, and Lady Rawhide is like a vigilante, but kind of like Robin Hood as well. She's a mixture of all the great vigilantes plus Robin Hood. That's pretty much what you get. The story was solid. Backstory of the character was interesting. It did leave you wanting more. But for the first run of Lady Rawhide, I thought it was good. Keep moving on. We're still in Dynamite. 3 more Dynamite to go. And the Owl, this is number 2, because this is only a 4-part miniseries. The Owl is still trying to adjust to being in, this century, in the modern era. He's been trapped in a mystical urn called Limbo for years, and he's reminiscing about the days of him and his partner Owl Girl. Not this Owl Girl, but another Owl Girl, a girl who was known as Bella, who he really cared about and loved. So, but he's at Belle's, his former partner's gravesite, and he's paying his respects, and all of a sudden he gets attacked by Owl Girl, and in a sense he wants to just talk. He's like, look, I just want to talk and everything. She's like, screw you, I'm not talking, blah blah blah, things like that. What the hell? And he even removes his mask just to show her, and that's when she stops. And we get real depth into is that this new Owl Girl is related to the Owl Girl that the Owl, remember, she's she's the granddaughter of the original Owl Girl, and but also in the around this the personality, the Owl realizes that she kind of goes above the code of the hero, to kill and stuff like that. She even takes money from the bank robbers and stuff and uses it, because there's a point where they're in her apartment, and he even says, like, you're doing well for yourself, like, so what do? You're a lawyer, something like that. And she's like, no, I just take the money. And he's just like, what you take their money? And there's a big argument over it. But other than that, really good. Just a fun read. Very much indeed. The Owl, #2. And we move on to The Shadow, number 16. I was trying to go for the Alex Ross cover, didn't have any more. But this is still a cool cover. The Shadow is still dealing with the Servant of Light, the individual known as Light. The last time we left off, Margot Lane was in trouble. The Light was going to go in and kill her. However, Margot was able to keep it going so she doesn't get run through by the Light. And she's talking about, how am I sinning when you're killing people? That's a sin. Trying to get inside her head. It's not really working, but it's working long enough for the Shadow to arrive. And when he does, he's able to wound the Light. And it just really gets really in depth. And the Light even says, this is not over, Shadow. We will meet again. And I'm looking forward to, this book indeed. Very good stuff. Very good indeed. If you are a fan of the Shadow, because he'll know. Pick it up. I love doing his laugh. We're on a roll with Gail Simone. Gail Simone, Red Sonja #2. Beautiful. Alright. I enjoyed the first issue. Damn sure enjoyed the second. In this book, we see Sonja fighting somebody from her past that she knew when she was just being held as a slave. I'm not going to spoil too much, but word of advice to anybody fighting Red Sonja with a horse: don't do it. Your horse will go down. I promise you. It's cruel, but your horse will go down. And it gets really dire after that. Not going to spoil a lot. But Gail Simone just hit it out of the park again. I fairly enjoyed this issue, even more than I enjoyed the first issue. But once again, Miss Simone, just keep up the good work. Cannot wait to see what happens with what we saw at the end of this issue. Good stuff. But there's something I want to show you guys that you can just clearly say right now, Chris is going to get it, and I'm looking forward to it. It seems that David List will be doing The Shadow as well, but it's going to be a 6-part miniseries, and the artwork is done by Colton Worley, who's just got fantastic artwork. And this series is called The Shadow Now. Yeah, The Shadow. Mr. List is bringing The Shadow to the 21st century. I think this is the same Shadow, but he's just the original Shadow, Lamont Cranston, just older, and now in the 21st century. Like if you brought him to the 21st century. Excellent. Excellent for both that book and this. Good stuff. Alright. Wow. Looking at the timer here, and I'm not even over an hour yet. That's good. Alright. Be right back, gentlemen. I'll be right back. Mouth's getting a little dry. I should have had something to drink with me. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I needed some iced tea. Alright, so where we at? Okay, all Dynamite is done for last week and the previous week. We're down to the last book, and I get this. The first 5 issues were for free, I believe. We're going to Top Cow, and March Silverstone, Koa, Palm, Cyberforce number 5. This shit just takes forever to come out. Excuse me. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Cyberforce takes so long to come out that I forget sometimes what has happened in the previous issue, so I have to go back and read it. And it looks like one of my favorite characters of Cyberforce was killed in this issue. I'm gonna spoil it. I'm sorry. This is my man Cyberclaw was killed. Ripclaw was killed. I hope not, but it looked like it was. He went out fighting, but god damn it. Basically, the main protagonist, I can't even remember his name, has set his plan in motion, and Snyder and Ares, Velocity, and Ripclaw try to stop it. And they get some help from people like Aphrodite and people like that. Once again, these are, if you've never read Cyberforce, then you don't know who these characters are. What I'm talking about, I apologize. But because this book takes so long to come out, it really kind of hurts it, and that's the only problem I have with it. But I believe after this was the last free issue. After that, it would price at, I think, $3.99 or so. But for what I read, it was good. It's just that I wish that it doesn't take so dang long to come out, because you forget. And I had to go back and kind of skim through the first 4 issues just to remember. But yeah, Cyberforce number 5. That's it. Oh boy. Alright. So now I'm caught up on everything. I should be back on track, guys. This probably won't go up until later, even though this guys, but I should be back on track, and tomorrow is comic book day, so I should be back on track and pick up my books and give a haul, show you guys what I picked up, and be ready for another review. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this pretty giant size edition episode. Catch you guys in a flip-flop as always. And this is my brother Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys, as always. Bye bye, and I'll see you guys later on with another episode. So peace to the next episode.